All right, let's dive into something pretty interesting today. We're looking at the synergy you can get between three health supplements: StemEnhance Ultra, PlasmaFlo, and Cyactiv. You may be looking for information on how these products work together to boost your health. We're going to check all that out based on a recent article by Dan Blackburn.
Oh, yeah, Dan Blackburn.
He's over at Red Light Therapy Rehab Healing with Light.
Healing with Light, yeah.
He published this one on February 20th, 2025. And it's got some really interesting insights, honestly.
Yeah, I think the idea of synergy here is particularly interesting, like where these three supplements might be more effective together than they are individually. The article kind of uses this analogy of a well-coordinated team, where StemEnhance Ultra provides the players, which in this case are your body's own stem cells.
Oh, cool.
And then PlasmaFlo acts as the transportation system, so it makes sure those stem cells get to where they need to be. And then lastly, Cyactiv kind of sets up the playing field, so to speak, by reducing inflammation, creating a healthier environment for those stem cells to do their job.
Okay, yeah, that analogy helps paint the picture. So let's break down each player on this team. StemEnhance Ultra, I'm already intrigued. So tell me more about how this product actually boosts stem cell production.
So StemEnhance Ultra uses AFA, which is a blue-green algae, and noni fruit extract. And the interesting thing is these ingredients, they don't just increase the number of stem cells, but they actually stimulate the release of stem cells from the earth marrow into the bloodstream, which makes them more readily available for tissue repair and regeneration.
So it's like giving your body a boost of its own internal repair crew. I'm curious, what does the article say about the science behind this? Like, how do AFA and noni fruit extract actually work on like a cellular level?
Well, it's a pretty complex process, but research suggests that certain compounds within AFA and noni fruit extract interact with the body's signaling pathways that regulate stem cell activity. And specifically, they seem to stimulate the production of growth factors and cytokines. You can think of those as messengers that tell stem cells to get to work. Migrating to areas in need of repair and then initiating that regeneration process.
That's amazing. Like giving your body's natural healing mechanisms a turbo boost? I can already see how this could be beneficial for a whole bunch of things, from like muscle recovery after exercise to potentially slowing down some of the effects of aging.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's only one part of the equation here. Remember, we have PlasmaFlo too that's working to enhance circulation. Think of it as like the delivery system that makes sure those stem cells mobilized by StemEnhance Ultra can reach their target destinations quickly and efficiently.
Right, so PlasmaFlo is all about maximizing the impact of those stem cells by making sure they can travel freely throughout the body. So tell me a little more about how it improves circulation. Like, what's the mechanism there?
Okay, well, PlasmaFlo, it uses a blend of natural ingredients. And according to the article, they work synergistically to promote vascular health. Healthy blood vessels are super important for efficient blood flow. So that means making sure they're not only wide enough, but they're also strong and flexible. So they're able to transport those stem cells along with the oxygen and the nutrients to every single cell in the body.
It's like creating a superhighway for those stem cells to travel on. And I'm guessing this is where we start to see the synergy between StemEnhance Ultra and PlasmaFlo really coming into play.
Exactly. By improving circulation, PlasmaFlo maximizes the delivery, and therefore the benefits of those stem cells mobilized by StemEnhance Ultra. It's a pretty powerful combination that could really supercharge the body's natural repair and regeneration processes.
This is so fascinating. So we've got the stem cells ready to work. We've got the transportation system to get them where they need to go. But what about the environment they're working in? That's where Cyactiv comes in, right?
Exactly. Yes, a Cyactiv plays a crucial role in making that healthy environment for those stem cells to function well. The primary focus is on supporting the body's anti-inflammatory processes.
Inflammation. It's a word we hear a lot, but it's often portrayed negatively. Isn't some inflammation necessary for healing?
You are absolutely right. Inflammation is how the body naturally responds to injury or infection, and it's a very crucial part of the healing process. However, when inflammation becomes chronic, it can actually be bad for our health, and it could potentially damage cells and tissues over time. You can think of it like a fire. A controlled fire can be beneficial, even necessary, but an uncontrolled fire is destructive.
So it's all about finding the right balance, right? We need inflammation for healing, but we don't want it to become a constant state.
Exactly, and that's where Cyactiv steps in. It's designed to kind of modulate inflammation and support the body's natural mechanisms for keeping that balance in check. By reducing that chronic inflammation, it creates a much healthier environment where those stem cells delivered by PlasmaFlo can thrive and then do their job well.
Okay, this synergy is starting to make a lot of sense to me now. StemEnhance Ultra provides those stem cells, PlasmaFlo makes sure they get where they need to go, and Cyactiv sets up the ideal environment for them to work their magic. It's like a team effort. But what does this synergy actually look like in the real world? Like, what kind of benefits are we talking about?
That is a great question, and that's what we're going to get into next. We'll explore some of the specific benefits that people have reported experiencing, from improved mobility to increased energy levels, and even potential improvements in emotional well-being. But before we move on, I think it's important to note that Dan really encourages anyone who's interested in learning more about these products to reach out to him at redlighttherapy.rehab.
That's a fantastic resource for anyone looking to delve deeper into, the science and potential of these supplements.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
And we'll be back after a short break to get into those real-world benefits and explore how this synergy could potentially impact your health journey. So before we break, we were talking about this interplay between StemEnhance Ultra, PlasmaFlo, and Cyactiv. And now we're going to kind of shift gears and explore what real-world benefits people are experiencing when they actually use these products, both individually and together.
Yeah, let's get to the good stuff. Dan's article mentions some really amazing testimonials and case studies, and I want to hear about the differences people are reporting.
Yeah, one area that stands out is this potential for improved mobility and less joint pain, particularly with Cyactiv, which aligns with Cyactiv's focus on reducing chronic inflammation, which, as we know, can be a big contributor to that joint discomfort and stiffness.
That is so interesting. It makes sense, given that inflammation is often at the root of joint issues. The article mentions a case study with an individual with chronic knee pain who saw significant improvement after taking Cyactiv. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that case study really highlighted how reducing inflammation allows the body to really focus on repairing and rebuilding that damaged tissue in the joints, leading to more mobility and way less pain. It's a powerful example of Cyactiv's potential for addressing a common issue that affects so many people.
Absolutely. And then there are also the testimonials about increased energy levels and overall vitality. And it's often attributed to those combined effects of StemEnhance Ultra and PlasmaFlo. Like they're working together to revitalize the body from the inside out.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. So if StemEnhance Ultra is providing the building blocks for repair and regeneration, then PlasmaFlo comes in and ensures those building blocks are delivered effectively to every cell in the body, including those responsible for energy production. So this combo, according to Dan, could lead to a really noticeable boost in overall vitality.
I could definitely see how that would make a difference in how people feel day to day. More energy, more stamina, just feeling more alive. But what I was surprised about was reading about improvements in emotional well-being. The article mentions a link between Cyactiv and StemEnhance Ultra and fewer stress levels, and an overall improvement in people's mood.
Yeah, that connection is particularly interesting. And while more research is needed to really understand what's going on there, it's important to remember our physical and emotional health are very connected. Chronic inflammation, which Cyactiv is working on, has been linked to mood disorders and cognitive decline. And stem cells, boosted by StemEnhance Ultra, actually play a role in repairing and regenerating tissue throughout the body, including the brain.
So by reducing inflammation and supporting overall cellular health, these supplements could contribute to a more balanced emotional state and greater well-being.
Yeah, that's the hypothesis, and the evidence from those testimonials seems to support it. It's a fascinating area, for sure.
For sure. But we should also remember that everyone's experience is different, and what works for one person may not work for another. It's important to just approach these supplements with an open mind and really listen to your body.
Absolutely. It's a journey, and you got to find what works best for you. And of course, as Dan emphasizes, it's always smart to talk to your doctor to make sure these products align with your individual health goals and any pre-existing conditions you might have.
That's such an important reminder. Okay, speaking of guidance, I remember Dan mentioning in the article that he's available to answer questions and provide some support for anyone wanting to learn more about these products.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He wants anyone who's interested to reach out to him at redlighttherapy.rehab. He really seems passionate about helping people get healthy and can offer some great insights based on his experience.
Yeah, that's a fantastic resource for anyone who wants to learn more and possibly use these supplements to help with their health. So let's talk about the practical side of things now. How do people incorporate these supplements into their daily routines?
Okay, let's get practical.
The science is really cool, but we want to know how to actually use these things right.
Absolutely. So the article does give some general guidelines, but it's really important to kind of personalize your approach. So for StemEnhance Ultra, the recommendation is usually 2 capsules a day. PlasmaFlo, it's also 2 capsules daily, ideally with meals to help them absorb better. And then Cyactiv, that's usually taken once a day.
Okay, so that gives us a place to start. But how about the timing? Does it matter when you take these supplements during the day?
Well, there's not really a perfect answer for everyone. I think it's helpful to think about what each product does and how it can support your day. So maybe you take StemEnhance Ultra first thing in the morning to kind of get your body systems going. Then maybe take PlasmaFlo with lunch and dinner to get the most out of your nutrients and circulation. And then Cyactiv could be best at night to promote restful sleep and support cellular repair overnight.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like you're matching the supplements to your body's natural cycles. But this is just a suggestion, right? What's really important is finding what works best for you and talking to your doctor to make sure you're doing it safely and effectively.
Exactly. Speaking of safety, let's talk about those potential side effects. Even natural supplements can have some unwanted effects, so it's important to be aware and be careful.
Yeah, definitely. Transparency is important with any health product. What does the article say about side effects with these supplements?
Well, Dan does mention that these products are generally safe for most people, but there are some possible side effects to be aware of. StemEnhance Ultra, for example, because it's stimulating those stem cells, it might cause headaches, some stomach issues, or tiredness in some people, especially when they're first starting out.
And with plasma flow, because it's focused on circulation, some people may experience flushing or slight blood pressure changes.
Right. It's just important to pay attention to how you're feeling and talk to your doctor if you have any concerns. It's especially important for people with pre-existing conditions, particularly heart or autoimmune issues, to discuss these supplements with their doctor before they start taking them.
Absolutely. You've got to talk to your doctor. They can figure out if there are any problems with the medicines you're already taking, or they can adjust your doses if needed, or tell you not to take certain supplements if they're not right for you.
Exactly. It's all about staying safe and making sure these products fit into your overall health plan.
That brings us to a really important point, taking a holistic approach to your health. Taking supplements is just one part of it. What other lifestyle changes could make these supplements more effective and improve overall well-being?
That's a great question. It leads back to the idea of holistic health. These supplements can really help, but they work best with healthy habits.
So we're talking about a balanced diet, exercise, stress management, good sleep.
Exactly. A healthy diet helps build those cells. Exercise boosts circulation, helps those stem cells work, and helps with inflammation. And don't forget about stress management and sleep. Stress can really mess up the body's natural healing, while sleep is super important for those cells to repair and rejuvenate.
It's like building a strong foundation for good health, where every piece, every healthy habit matters. And these supplements are like those extra details that make everything even better.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It really is all connected. It's not about just one thing. It's about realizing how everything works together to create a healthy life.
It's about being smart and making good choices to reap your health goals. And that includes looking for good information to help you make those decisions. Dan's website, redlighttherapy.rehab, is a great example of where to find reliable info about holistic health.
Absolutely. It's a great place to start if you want to learn more about these supplements and how they could help you.
So we've talked about the science, how to use the supplements, the good stuff they can do, the side effects, and how to be healthy overall. But before we finish up, I want to touch on one more thing. It's really important to listen to your own body and see how you're doing.
That's a good point. Those testimonials were really cool, but remember, everybody is different and results can vary.
Exactly. It's about noticing those positive changes you might be seeing since starting these supplements. Like maybe you're reporting faster from your workouts, or you're sleeping better. Maybe you feel less stiff in the mornings, or you just feel happier.
Right. Pay attention to those little things. How's your energy level? How's your digestion? Any changes in your skin or hair? If you know how you feel before you start and then watch for changes, you can really see how these products are impacting your health.
Like you're figuring out what works best for your body.
I like that. It's about taking charge of your health, making good decisions based on what you see and feel. And don't forget, you're not alone in this. Your doctor can be a big help. They can help you figure out what's happening, adjust your doses if needed, and make sure everything's going well with your overall health plan.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so as we're finishing up this part of our deep dive, let's take a second to think about what we've learned. We've explored this cool synergy between StemEnhance Ultra, PlasmaFlo, and Cyactiv. These three products can potentially help the body heal and regenerate itself naturally. We've talked about the science, how to use them, and the importance of overall health. And we've highlighted how important it is to pay attention to how your body responds and track your progress.
This has been a really interesting deep dive. I'm learning a lot, and I hope our listeners are too.
Me too. And hey, if you want to learn more, you don't have to wait until the end of the show to reach out to Dan. His contact info is on redlighttherapy.rehab.
Yeah, he's always happy to help.
Okay, so in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to switch gears one more time and look at some extra things to think about, including some possible challenges. And then we'll leave you with some questions to think about as you continue learning about your health. Okay, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive. looking at StemEnhance Ultra, PlasmaFlo, and Cyactiv. We've talked about the science, the possible benefits, and how to use these supplements for overall wellness. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about a few more things to consider, and we'll leave you with some questions to think about on your health journey.
That sounds good. It's always good to be realistic when you're trying something new for your health. Thinking about what's good and what the limits might be. There's no magic solution for everything, and these supplements are no different.
Right, exactly. And one of the limits I noticed in Dan's article was the importance of keeping your expectations in check. The testimonials are amazing, but everyone's body is different, and what works for one person may not work the same way for someone else.
You got it. Things like your genes, how you live, your overall health, and even how serious the issue is can all affect how your body reacts to these supplements. It's all about figuring out what works for you, and that might take some time and trying things out.
That's a really good point. It's not a quick fix. It's a process. And speaking of processes, I'm curious about the long-term effects of using these supplements. The article talks about the benefits you see right away, but what about any effects that build up over time?
That's an interesting question, and one that needs more research. There's growing evidence for the short-term benefits, but we need more studies to really know their long-term potential and any possible risks from using them for a really long time.
That makes sense. Like with anything else you take for your health, it's always best to be safe and stay updated on the latest research. And speaking of staying informed, I know Dan encourages people to ask questions and get in touch with him if they have any concerns.
Oh yeah, he's a great resource. Whether you're just starting to learn about these supplements or already using them, Dan is there to offer guidance and support. His contact info is at redlighttherapy.rehab.
Okay, great. So as we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave you with one final thought. We've discussed the potential benefits for physical health, but what about their possible effects on our mental and emotional well-being? A fascinating area to explore, both personally and through more research.
Absolutely. The more we learn about how our physical, mental, and emotional health are all connected, the more we realize how important a holistic approach is. These supplements, with their ability to help with inflammation, circulation, and cell regeneration, could play a big part in that holistic view. But in the end, the journey to better health is a personal one, and it takes self-awareness, making good choices, and being open to new discoveries.
That's a great way to put it. Remember, the more you know about your health options, the better choices you can make for your well-being. So keep learning, keep exploring, and keep striving to be the healthiest, most vibrant you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.